Good morning everyone. So today we will be seeing what is metric driven monitoring and how it's key to the cloud native reliability. So before that, I would like to introduce myself. I am Anushka Tiwari and I am working as a cloud support associate in AWS, and before this I have worked as a DevOps engineer in RoboMQ, that is in Jaipur. Apart from that, I am contributing to the open source community through talks, mentorship and collaborations. So before moving on the topic, I'm having a question to all of you that we all have like deployed some containers or any cloud native stack. So you must have faced any challenges while deploying the containers. So any challenges you have come across while doing that? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that is the challenge. But as an overall, if you see, if you are deploying some container or any cloud native, what are the major challenges you could think about? Anyone? Yeah.
Lack of event propagation in Kubernetes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. So let's move forward. We could see that as CNCF survey of annual 2023 report, it has been seen that security has been the major issue, contributing to total of 40%. That's the major concern of people around the world. When the survey was conducted around the globe, it has been seen that people said that security is the major issue. Apart from that, it is the complexity that leads when we deploy any containers or any cloud native stacks. Then it comes to monitoring and contributing to the 35% of total votes. And then it is the cultural challenges that team faces when they collaborate with each other. Like as we are aware that when it comes to deployment or any other thing, there is involvement of lot of team. It isn't just that one team is there and doing their stuff. So that is another challenge, and obviously the lack of training plays another role. So this was the annual survey report from CNCF 2023 telling what are the major challenges faced. So let's move forward and see what is the roadmap of metric driven monitoring. So here we will be seeing why monitoring matters, what is monitoring. We will explore some cloud native monitoring landscapes here and what the Prometheus is, how Prometheus works, and some of the terminologies, and then jumping upon the demo and then Q&A. So why monitoring matters? So let me tell you a short story. As I mentioned, I was working as a DevOps engineer in my previous company. There was a time then our production server completely went down and become completely unresponsive. So obviously when such things happen, there was the surge of the customer telling about the downtime, complaining about the what has gone wrong, we are not able to access the application. So yeah, this was my reaction at that time. So what could be the major cause? Anyone? Yeah.
Sometimes the newer systems are surging with a lot of load, but they are telling, but no one is looking into that part, and at last they just explode and something crashes.
Yeah, very correct, very true. That is the thing. There were no alerts, no early warning. What is going to happen? Is something going to go down? So when we finally dug upon the issue, it was just that the CPU has spiked, the CPU has throttled, the whole disk space was full. So our systems, our servers actually crashed, and that was the main cause. So since our monitoring systems were not set up properly, there were no alerts. So we couldn't identify the issue at an early stage, and we only get to know when everything went down and everything was destroyed. So I could think that the situation could have been avoided if we had a proper monitoring system, if we have configured some alerts on prior basis, and if we had a proper visualization of the health of our system. So I would mention that monitoring isn't just nice to have, or like it is good, we can see, oh, we are having the monitoring. It's now actually the essential part to establish a reliable system. So here we will see next what is monitoring? So monitoring is basically a process of collecting the data, what is happening with your system. So it collects the data, and then we initially analyzes that is it healthy or not. So it just tracks the performance, detect the issue, and just ensures that your system, whatever your server are running, are just healthy or not. So yes, there is, I would also like to have a question with all of you. There is always a confusion between monitoring and observability. Anyone would like to know, like anyone would like to answer what is the difference if they are aware? Yeah.
So monitoring is basic of, as you said, collecting different parameters and metrics from your instances,
Yeah.
but they can be scattered and you don't get a full picture. Versus observability brings monitoring, metrics, traces, everything into a single umbrella, and you can correlate everything together and get a better picture of what happened and how it happened.
Yeah, correct.
Basically.
Ankit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So very right. So like when it comes to monitoring, so monitoring answers what is happening. Like your system went down, it will tell you that it has gone down, something has gone wrong. Like, but the observability tells us why it is happening. Why, like the CPU has throttled, the disk has faced, it tells you the reason behind the cause. Okay. So there are majorly three major pillars of observability. So we will see one by one. The three major pillars are matrices, logs, and traces. So let's first of all understand what is matrices. Matrices are nothing but just some numerical value that represent the health of the system over the time. So it just like help us to detect what is going wrong. It just collects the numerical value. What is the CPU value your systems are running? Like, is it 60% using? It is using 70% or 80%. So it is just the numerical value calculated. Fine. And then we can configure some alerts also based on that value, so that we are, as I mentioned, the cause or the issues can be identified at an early stage. So now let's see what is logs. I think most of you have come across this terminology, whether in whichever domain you might be working, but like log is a very common terminology used. So log is nothing but it's just a record of the system events, like what is happening. But logs tell something deeper. It tells like what actually happened and why did it happen. There must be some error code, right? There can be the reason of the event, the issue. So logs has a deeper insights, right? Then if we move to the traces, so traces is nothing but it's trace the journey of the request. So if we have too many of servers, like generally we have in our organization, so the servers communicate to each other, right? So the packets move from one server to the another server. So now these packets needs to be traced, how they are moving forward, right? So that it can be identified, the bottlenecks can be identified if the packets is lost somewhere, or is there any failure. So these were the three major pillars, the matrices, the logs, and the traces, which I have described here. So now we could see the CNCF monitoring landscape here provides, as Prometheus can be used for matrices and Aegir can be used for traces and FluentD is used for logs. Now, if you want to like have a tool that can be combinedly used for that, I think so OpenTelemetry can contribute to that in a very great sense. So now, moving forward, we will see why metric-driven monitoring is essential. Anybody could answer this?
So that you are not shooting in the dark.
Yeah, true. That's so true. Anybody else? Yeah,
Just to know the reason why it's down.
correct. Anyone from there? Anything? Why monitoring? Simply in life, why anything, for any reason, why monitoring is important? Not just related to IT or your servers. Why monitoring? Why monitoring of anything is related? True, right, very right, correct. So why, like, again, I would like to give an example here. We use fitness bands, right? Fitness tracker. So why we generally use that? Like, we could measure how many steps we have walked daily, what is the heart rate. So it tells us about the sleep cycle, so that it can measure are we healthy or not, correct? So in a similar way, like if a parents born their children, it isn't just like that they leave their children like, okay, my job is done, the children has been born, I need not to monitor it. It doesn't happen that way, correct? If so, you are deploying a server, you cannot just leave it that way. You need to monitor it, whether it's working fine or not. You need to see if it's growing right or not, correct? So in similar way, IT has a monitoring structure. So why we couldn't use logs? Logs can be used, but since logs play a crucial role, but it is the tedious one. You need to go back in the time, you need to check all the entries and then identify the issue, and that could delay and the issue can grow. So that's why we have Prometheus. Now what the heck is Prometheus? Prometheus is an open source system that monitors, and it's just is an alerting toolkit. Okay, so as mentioned that it is in the landscape, you can see that it has been grown and graduated. The Prometheus has a graduated toolkit. So it is used widely by the organizations, and the first commit to the Prometheus was done in November 2012. Until now, it has grown so wide that there are 1.1k contributors to it. Moving forward, we will see how Prometheus works. So Prometheus is nothing. It is just a time series database that has its own query language. So when I say a time series database, as I mentioned earlier also, it collects the data. So it collects the data on the basis of time. Like at 10 p.m. your CPU was 60. At 10:30 your CPU was this. So it collects the data in comparison of the time period. And you can query that Prometheus through it has its own query language, as we are aware about the SQL database, right? So it has its query language. Similarly, Prometheus has its own query language known as PromQL. So there are three main components of Prometheus server that I would like to discuss with all of you. First one is the retrieval. Now we discussed that it collects the data, right? It has to, if Prometheus needs to monitor the data, first of all it needs to collect the data. The first step leads us to retrieval. Retrieval means pulling the data from the servers. So it pulls the data from the servers and then it stores the data in the time series database. Okay. After that, what we need to do with these data? It couldn't, like if we just need to store it, then what is the use of it? So that data is used by any alerting tool, or we can use through any other dashboards. We will be discussing that later. So yeah, the third one is the HTTP server that accepts the queries. So it extracts the data from the database. So it's a very simple flow. You can say that it retrieves the data, stores in the database, and from the data it again pulls it so that it can be represented to us or any alerts can be sent to us, right? Now we will see, we will have a deeper look at how Prometheus works. So as I explained earlier, Prometheus server, there were three main components: retrieval, time series database, and HTTP server. So now what happened? Prometheus server scrapes the data, stores and process it. Now what are exporters? So we have our servers, we have our resources. So what does exporter do? Exporters eventually collects the metrics of that app and sends it to the Prometheus. Okay. Then we have alert manager. What does alert manager do? It handles the alert on the basis of the Prometheus rules that we have configured. Like simply if we want to get an alert, like if I want that my disk has been used, if 90% of my disk has been used, I should get an alert on my Teams channel. I should get an email for that. So that can be configured through push alerts through alert manager, right? And then we have a service discovery. It detects the targets that are sending the matrices to the Prometheus. And then, as I mentioned, PromQL is the query language that is used to query the data that is stored by the Prometheus, right? So, and the push gateway, here I would like to mention push gateway is also used like if we have some jobs that run for a smaller period of time. So the push gateway collects that data for in chunks of the time, like for the 15 second it can collect and then it sends to the Prometheus server. So in Prometheus, through PromQL, we can visualize that data in a Prometheus UI, Grafana or an API that we will be seeing later for sure. And before moving forward, I have one question again. What is push versus pull metrics? Anyone? Yeah.
So ideally, when we do the modeling, there is a part like how you are going to collect the data, okay?
Correct.
Or we can say the server, how it is going to receive the data. So there are two ways. One is agent based, another one is non-agent. Okay. So if a agent is there, then we have to deploy that agent at our resources. Okay. They collect locally and aggregate there only, and then they send it to server. But for if it is a non-agent connection, so in that case, what the server does, server calls, if it is a Windows machine or a job, it will call out WMI on and then collect the data at the time of the moment. So how Prometheus works? So when we install the scrapper over the resources, they expose their metrics over a particular port.
Port, correct.
Right. Then Prometheus just call that particular port and scrap it. So when we say scrap it, just read it, okay, and just collect and save. So that is how push is like when agent automatically push the data to the server, and pull is like when server pulls the data. When like I need the data, then agent send it. And sometimes what agent is like, I am running, it is just exposing to the particular endpoint.
Yeah, very correct. So in a very simpler terms, pull versus push metric, what it does, like if we have a Prometheus server, but Prometheus server is sitting idle. He is saying, I won't be doing anything. You send me the data. You send me the data. So then it is push metrics. Okay. But Prometheus works on pull metrics. What does Prometheus say? Okay, you don't do anything. I will be fetching the data from you. You have your logs. You have everything. I will read from there. Okay. So Prometheus works on pull matrices. So as I mentioned earlier, it is a Prometheus server that scraps the matrices from the targets. Then it stores that data in the time series database. Then there are server queries, PromQL queries that can be used to like identify whatever whatever reason we want that alert, and it generates the alerts on the basis of the PromQL. Then it pushes it to the push gateway, and we can visualize all these data. It's not necessary to read all this, as we are aware, like whenever you need to present some data in front of large people or in front of, not everyone is working in DevOps or everyone would be able to understand that, right? So there are much better way to explain a data, and if like when we present some data, datas are understand in a much better way when they are presented in the form of charts or graphs. Exactly. So that can be visualized through Grafana. So all this can, like if we are sending the alerts can be sent to the alert manager so that our issues can be resolved at an early stage. So moving to the terminologies, we have matrices and labels. So what are matrices and labels? So when some data are scrapped and bring back to the time series database in Prometheus, so how data are structured? What are labels? So labels are nothing like if I have too many pods running, I could just identify that, okay, I can name the pod. I want the data of this pod. I want the data of this pod. So that are the labels. Labels are just a way to identify things deeper. You can just, like there are a lot of queries, there are a lot of data. You can, with the help of labels, you can just pull out the data that you want. Okay. So then what is time series data? It just, as I mentioned earlier, it stores the data with respect to time. So at 10 p.m. the CPU was 80, at 10:30 it was 90, at some other time it was it would be some other thing. So with respect to time, it stores and you can query the same. As I mentioned, scrapping and target. So this is how the Prometheus collects the data. PromQL is the query language for the Prometheus, and the logical group of target with the same configuration are the jobs. As I mentioned, if some jobs are running for smaller period of time, that could use push gateway. Okay, so rules, what are rules in Prometheus? That are predefined condition for alerting. As I mentioned, that you can configure some rules. Okay, so it says that I want an alert if my CPU went to 90, if I want an alert if my disk space has been used to 80%. Okay, so that are the rules you can configure before anything goes wrong. So here is one of the query language I could tell about, that it requests, it sees there are requests and how many, like there is two, I want to identify the request with the code 200 and 400. So it lists all. I have just put a query Prometheus HTTP request total with the code 2 to 400. So it will list all the queries that have the HTTP code as 200 and 400, and there it displays the numbers like 5, 20 to 4. This displays the like Prometheus, which instance, okay, which job so has been running with the code 200. So this is how you can query the Prometheus. You can parse to the AST and then you can see the results through the engine, correct? So I will walk you through a quick demo. So yeah, here we have two node groups. Here we have one node group with two nodes deployed on that. So I have before that I have already like deployed Prometheus and Grafana on an EKS so that our demo can move faster. So yeah, this is the node group and these are the two nodes that are running here. Okay. Let me tell you. Okay, so yeah, and I have also deployed an app that is a to-do app. So it's just so that we can see some of the matrices, how it goes up and down. So yeah, moving forward, I will take you through to Prometheus. So there is an alert manager, as I mentioned. Alert manager, what it does, it alerts about if anything goes wrong. Then this is the Prometheus stable cube Prometheus that actually holds the data what is going inside the Prometheus. It collects the data and stores here. Then we have Grafana, where we will be seeing what has happened in a graph form, correct? And then we have Cube Prometheus state operator and state matrix. So what happened when it comes to Kubernetes? Kubernetes API calls are made and it pushes some of the data to the Prometheus. But if you need some large amount of data, if you need some deeper insights, then there is Cube state matrix that is used. So that can be used to have a larger insights on the Kubernetes cluster that is deployed by you. Then we have two daemons running, that is node exporter. There are two node exporter that are running. So yeah, it will fall down. Okay. So yeah, I have deployed this Grafana behind the load balancer. We will see. Okay, yeah. So here we can see the data source. You need to tell the Grafana that from where it need to Grafana, what it does, it just visualizes the data. So you need to tell Grafana from where it need to collect that data. So here I have like mentioned that it will be collecting the data from the Prometheus. So yeah, I'll walk you through the dashboard here. So here are few of the matrices that we could see. So like here there is node. So this is the Kubernetes nodes that are running. Well, I like to show you the nodes. As I mentioned, there are two nodes. Yeah, so these are the two nodes that are running. So yeah, here we can see what is the memory usage, correct? Like max capacity, it says 3.74 GB. So then we can use the memory usage here, like it says 3.74 GB for the another node. So this is how you can monitor the data, what is going on. So it says about the node that how is it working, correct? Then let's move to our to-do application that is running there, and we will see. Okay. So yeah, here we have this to-do application that is running. You can see the CPU usage by the container is currently low, and the memory usage of the container is constant for a time, as there is no activity going on there. So let's make some changes and see how does it move, how the graph changes. So this is the to-do app that I have deployed again behind the load balancer. I think so. It is taking some time. I don't know if it's.
Maybe it is a SSL configured for WordPress. Like good VPS, setting the wrong.
Okay, yeah, correct. Oh yeah, it's the Prometheus one. Okay, yes. Here we have. Yeah. So here I have added some of the things. Let's make some changes here. So here, how was your day? How was your day? So good, fine, and anything. Let's add anything, move forward, make some changes. Yeah. Has anything is going any? Yeah. So here I have made some entries. It is just like adding something in your to-do list that I need to do this, I need to do that. So that's how is it going. And let's see, is there, like you can see here, there is some spike, right? Before that, we have seen that the graph was constant, correct? So let's refresh it again. See, here we can see a tremendous spike as there were some changes made, correct? So this is how you can monitor what is going on with your servers rather than just sitting, and we could be triggered alert earlier about the issue if something has gone wrong or not. So yeah, that's it. We can connect later, and yeah, thank you.